Hello, I'm Steve Lenihan, and I'm teaching Physics 11 this semester. Things are going to be a little bit different than the usual science classroom. Typically, what happens is students would sit at their desks while the teacher would present information. Might be some note taking, might be a video, or some other form of presentation. And then at the end of the day, students would go home and have practice questions, either a worksheet or something from their textbook or even the internet that they have to solve. Frequently, students get home and they're stuck and they're struggling and they're not sure what to do. Many parents don't have a background in this subject, or maybe they took it 30 years ago and they don't remember and they're not able to help their student. What I'm hoping to do is to flip that around. From my experience, students are always on their phones. When I look around my classroom while teaching, there are students on their phones all the time. And they aren't on there to research a science topic or to find information about this subject. Most students, most of the time, are engaged in social media. They're messaging friends, they're Snapchatting, they are watching videos, or they're playing games. They're not using the device appropriately for education. What I'm hoping to do is to teach them how to use these devices more effectively, and I'm going to make this part of our course. If you're a student who likes to spend your class time just sitting in your seat, watching, playing on your phone, playing on your computer, and not participating in class activities, this class might not be the right one for you. That is what I would call passive education, where you're sitting still and somewhat paying attention. In this class, you're going to be an active participant. You're going to be out of your seat, you're going to be doing activities, and there will be assignments most days that are required by the end of the period. In the assistance to understand the concepts of physics, we're going to do a number of labs in this course, and our first week is no exception. Our first lab will be on vectors, our second lab on motion and data collection and graphing. Then we're going to move on to ticker tape, followed by motion sensors. Each of these days, the student will do the homework at home to know what's coming. They'll have their instructions the night before. When they come to class, they'll go straight into the activity. And at the end of the lab, they'll pass it all in before they leave the classroom. You will work in these labs sometimes by yourself, sometimes with a partner, and sometimes in small groups. The first lab will be a group of 4, and the second lab, and the third lab will be with a partner. Sometimes you might work by yourself. Just because you're working with others doesn't mean that they do the work. This is a collaborative effort. Everyone needs to be involved and active. And future labs, you will pass in an individual report. But for the first lab, be one report for the group of 4. And the second lab, one report for the pair. For those students who are unable to make it to class, you're still expected to do the work on your own time, and you can drop that off next time you're in class or submit it to the Google Classroom. There is time to complete the entire project in the period, but you'll need to stay on task. You also need to come to class prepared, knowing what you need to do by following the instructions, and refreshing any skills that you feel that you've forgotten over the years.